Well, we looked last time at crayon in our series on AI art. So remember, here is Midjourney, and the prompt was an illustration of a winter scene with a brook and cabin. And so there is what Midjourney created. This is crayon and very simple. So let's move on to NightCafe. And NightCafe is you have to pay to use it, but if you are patient, you can actually use it mostly free. If you notice up here, this number 509, that's the number of credits I have, and I didn't buy any of those. Once you have registered and created a couple of images, you get a certain number that you can do for free. Then every day you get 5 free credits. And so if you sign up and then wait for a while, you can stock up your free credits to where you have a fair amount of wiggle room for creating things without having to buy credits. Now, the one caveat here is that you have to claim the credits every day. Usually you'll get an email, although they're not always real consistent about sending those out. But you have to go to the website every day. They become available like after about 6 o'clock in the evening. And so you have to claim your credits. And if you do, then in time you can save up enough to where you don't really have to worry too much about paying. Or you can buy them and they're not very expensive. So we're going to do that same prompt again. Now we have several options here. We can use Stable Diffusion. We can use DALL-E 2, and we're going to actually go to DALL-E 2's website later, so we're not going to do that one. And there are other options here too. Coherent, artistic, style transfer, like if you want to upload a photo and turn it into an artwork. But what we're going to do for this is I'm going to use Stable Diffusion, and the reason for that is Stable Diffusion and DALL-E 2 are sort of the two major approaches to generating AI art. And even Midjourney that you've already seen is based on Stable Diffusion. So these are the two big players, and I want to stick with Stable Diffusion because that's likely what you're going to end up using if you do very much in AI art. So let's go to our text prompt right here, and I'm going to just paste that in again. An illustration of a tranquil winter scene with a brook and cabin. Again, a very basic prompt. Now, you can add modifiers and really tweak your prompt. You can add a start image if you want to try that. Again, it's not something we're going to go into here. You come down to the advanced settings, and there's a whole lot of stuff I don't want to get into right now. Aside from the aspect ratio, and over here, I'm using a 4:3 aspect ratio, and I want to, and here you see the images are all square, and that's pretty much what you get with crayon. But I want to keep that 4:3. So I'm going to come over here and click in landscape. Now here you can decide how many credits that you want to spend. And there are a lot of things that affect how many credits are used when you create an image. Here, the number of images, if you want just one, or if you want 4, or 9, or 16, the cost goes up. And then when you come down here, if you want it to go faster, then here it's short, but like say, whoa, okay, if I want it to go a little faster, medium, long, then it's going to cost you more. Actually, NightCafe is pretty fast, so I don't really worry too much about that. Output resolution, that's the pixel size you're going to get when it's done. So the better quality you want, the more credits. And again, normally I will just stick with a thumbnail on this, but if you want better quality, you might at least go to low res. And just for comparison purposes, I'll do that today. Okay, so I've got my total cost, I've got my prompt, I'm not doing any fancy stuff, just a basic prompt. Let's see what it comes up with. It's going to cost me 2 credits, And so we start the process. And everything I'm doing in these videos is real time. I'm not speeding it up. So we'll see just how long it takes. Okay, and it came up with something within just a few seconds. Here's some other images that I've created that are in my library. So let's click on this and see what we get. I got 4 images of a tranquil winter scene. Now again, I'm using a keyword there, and the keyword is illustration. If I don't use the word illustration, then it well could turn up something that looks more like a photograph, and I don't really want that, again, for what I'm trying to demonstrate here. So we've got 4 pictures. Let's see what they look like. Again, it's very much an illustration style. A little better than crayon, not as good as Midjourney. Let's see what we got in this kind of sunsetty look. That one's not too bad. And let's do one more. And I like that one a lot. So this is NightCafe Studio, and you find it at creator.nightcafe.studio, or just Google NightCafe and it'll pull up. This isn't a bad one. It's fairly easy to work with, but there is a better option, and we're going to look at that one real quick. This is PlaygroundAI.com, and this one it's got a free option, and you can create up to 1,000 images a day. That's pretty good. You've got to be pretty much a power user if you're going to go past 1,000 images a day, and you can use the images commercially. Well, the downside is fixed image dimensions. In other words, you're not going to be able to get too creative in your image dimensions. You can only generate 1 image at a time. There's a waiting period after you've generated 1,000 images, which I don't think is going to be too much problem for most of us. After 50 images, quality might go down, and if on the free program, you cannot use DALL-E to generate images. So that's the only downsides of the free one. And so let's see what we come up with PlaygroundAI. Now the interface is a little different here. You put your prompt in over on the left side. Here are the dimensions that you can use. 768 by 512 pixels is a pretty good ratio for getting that landscape look again. And then model is, there are different AI models that you can use depending on the kind of results you want. The basic one that you will use in almost any of these apps is Stable Diffusion. And we've got 2 different versions, but actually 1.5 is the better of the 2, in my opinion, at least for doing art type work. So let's paste in our prompt. Again, an illustration of a tranquil winter scene with a brook and cabin. And we're going to generate it, and let's see what we get. Okay, it's pretty fast. And I've seen better. Down here you can rate the image, and it actually helps train train the AI. And I'm going to kind of give that a yucky face. I don't really like it too much, but that's sometimes what happens. One thing that you find with AI is you have to experiment and try different things, and so let's see. Let's do a reroll. Reroll just means you're using the same prompt, but you're going to generate a new picture. Okay. Now to show you what I mean by illustration being a keyword, let's take illustration out and just make it a tranquil winter scene with a brook and cabin. See what we get. Okay, now we practically have a photograph. It's still AI generated. This isn't a photograph, but it's a much different look. How about, and I wasn't going to get into this, but I just want to show you what are the possibilities. How about a painting of a tranquil winter scene with a brook and cabin, as opposed to an illustration, which is a specific art style. So let's just go a painting. Okay, so now we have something that has more of a painting type look. These are our others for comparison. So again, your word choice is going to make a lot of difference, but that's PlaygroundAI. Again, I would really recommend this one probably if, particularly if you're on a budget. You can experiment with AI art and do some of the things I'm going to show a little later in the week that I think will be helpful in your art, homeschool art classes. So anyway, that's PlaygroundAI. And that'll be all for this video. Next video, we're going to look at Dream Studio and maybe DALL-E if we have time. And I'll see you in the next video.